Hey guys, Grudius here, and this is the video for volume of a cone. So if you've not watched the video for volume of a cylinder, you need to go back and watch that. That's very, very, very important because volume of a cone is very similar to finding the volume of a cylinder. Okay, so cones and cylinders, the reason why it's very similar is cones and cylinders are very similar shapes. They both have a base that's a circle. Okay, so because they both have this circular base right here, that means it's probably going to be a similar process into finding the volume of each one. Okay, the only difference between a cone and a cylinder is cones are 3 times smaller than cylinders. So what I mean by that is if I had a cone that had the exact same size circular base, let's say this one had a radius of 4 and the cylinder had a radius of 4. Okay, and they both also had the exact same height. So the height of this cone, let's just say, was 10, and the height of this cylinder was also, oh, that's not straight line, 10. So they have the same radius, same height. Okay, but the difference is this cone doesn't go down. It's missing all of this extra stuff right over here. Okay, I'm going to draw it in dotted line because it's not there. It's missing all of this extra space. Okay, so that means a cone is smaller than a cylinder. And to be exact, it's actually 3 times smaller than a cylinder. Now, it doesn't look like it's 3 times smaller than a cylinder, but it really, really is. Okay, so what we're going to do is to find the volume of a cone. Step 1, you do the exact same thing you do to find the volume of a cylinder. So we take the area of the base, so area of this circle right here, and then we multiply it by the height. That's how we would find the volume if this was a cylinder. And then at the very, very end, divide by 3. Okay, and that's it. So it's the exact same process as finding the volume of a cylinder. So you would treat this as if it was a cylinder, find its volume, and then once you're done, divide by 3, and that would tell you what the volume of the cone is. Okay, so let's do that real quick. We know the volume of a cylinder is area of the base times the height. Okay, so if I wanted to find the area of my circle right here, I would take pi r squared. So let's go ahead and substitute in 2 in for my radius here, because this is my radius because it stops halfway. So I have pi times 2 squared. And then I also need to substitute in the height. And my height is 12. And then I would just multiply these values in order to find the volume of a cylinder. Okay, so this is step 1. Do the exact same thing to find the volume of a cylinder. This is how we find the volume of a cylinder. So I square it first. So I've got pi times 4 times 12. I'm going to multiply by pi last. I'm going to get 48 pi. Okay, and then now what I can do is now I can actually go ahead and multiply 48 times 3.14. So let's do that real quick. 48 times 3.14. And I get 150.72. So what I just found out, 150.72. So I just figured out what the volume, if this was a cylinder, I found the volume of a cylinder. Now I do step 2. Okay, so what we did is everything we've learned in the past so far. I just found the volume of this shape. I found the volume of this cone by finding the volume of the cylinder first. And now I'm going to divide this by 3. So once I divide 150 by 3, 150.72 by 3, I'm sorry, that's going to give me the volume of this cone. Okay, so I'm going to go again, use my calculator for this, and I can just divide by 3, and I get 50.24. All right, so the volume of this particular cone is 50.24. Now, if you wanted a formula for this, okay, again, we take the same formula that we used for volume of a cylinder, area of the base times the height, and then we just put it over 3. We're going to divide by 3 in the end. Okay, so let's make sure we get this formula down. If I wanted to expand this out, though, area of the base again, this is my capital B right here. Okay, pi r squared. That's just because that's the area of a circle, and the cone has a circular base. Okay, so the area of this circle of the base of a cone is pi r squared times h, and then over 3. So these formulas are the exact same thing. So let's make sure we have both of these down so we know the formula for finding the volume of a cone. Okay, so now let's look at this particular cone and let's find its volume. So again, I know it's pi r squared h divided by 3. So I'm going to plug all of this into my formula. I'm going to plug in my values that I know into this formula. So I've got pi times my radius squared times h, and I had to divide all of that by 3. Well, my radius is 3, my height is 8. And again, let's be careful about radius. This is not the diameter. This is my radius because it stops halfway. So first thing I do is I square my radius, and then I worry about my other multiplication. So 3 squared is 9. So I got pi times 9 times 8 divided by 3. 9 times 8, I'm just going to go this way right now to save myself some space, is 72. So I have 72 pi divided by 3. Okay. And now I can multiply 72 times pi, and then I can divide by 3. And this is where it's nice to have the calculator in hand. Okay. Oh, where am I? Oh, there it went. Okay. So let me move it over here. I've got 72 times pi, so 72 times 3.14. That's going to give me 226.08. So I need to write that down still. Okay, I need to write that down on my calculator, on my work. Okay, oh, I already lost what it was. I forgot it. I'm being lazy. 226.08. So I have 226. Whoops. My pen's out of whack again. 0.08, and I still have to divide that by 3. So I can go back to my calculator, and the cool thing is because that's already in there, I can just hit divided by 3, and that's going to give me my final volume of 75.36. So 75.36. And I'm done. All right. Now, let's look at this one right here. So now I've got a cone. It's on its side, but it's still in the shape of a cone. Okay, because it comes to a point at the end, and it still has a circular base. Okay, so this is still a cone. But if it's on its side, my height is still the distance between my base and that tip. Okay, and the point. So this is my height, 15, and then this is not the radius. I've got to decide, is this my radius or my diameter? Because this is the distance all the way, this is actually my diameter. And the radius is what I want, which is only the distance halfway. So that means I want to find half of this distance, which would be 6. So I need to plug into my formula. Pi times my radius squared times the height divided by 3. You guys should give this one a shot on your own if you guys can. And then so just pause the video, try this, and then follow along afterwards and see if you get it right. Okay. So when I substitute, I'm going to get pi times 6 squared times 15. I'm sorry guys, my pen is just not working well right now. I hate it when that happens. Times 15, all divided by 3. That's supposed to be 15. So first thing I need to do is I need to do my 6 squared, which is 36. Okay. And then I still have to multiply that by 15. That has not gone away. And I still have to divide everything by 3. Okay, so now I get to do 36 times 15 in my calculator. I'm also going to show you guys a quick little trick, though, too. I could multiply this right now, but instead, actually, you know what? I don't want to show you the shortcut. So I'm going to do 36 times 15. And that's going to give me 540. So now I've got 540 times pi divided by 3. So now I can do 540 times pi. So I'm going to multiply that by 3.14. I'm going to get 1,695.6. So I need to copy that down again here so I don't lose my place. 1,695.6. Okay. So 1,695.6. And I still have to divide this number by 3. And this was going to give me my volume of this particular cone. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. 1,695.6 divided by 3. And that's going to give me my final volume of 565.2. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. For finding the volume of a cone, it's the exact same process as finding the volume of a cylinder. We just divide by 3 in the end, because cones are 3 times smaller than cylinders. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Good luck.